Hello everyone and welcome back to our lecture series on complex number. So in the previous part, which is more like an introduction, I did all the explanation that you need as long as complex number is concerned. So if you missed that part, just watch the previous video before this and then you're going to find that video and the previous example, which is the example 1. All right, so right here is the example 2. All right, so before we start solving it, if you are new to the channel or you're still here to subscribe, please go ahead right now, click on that subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notified each time I upload a new video. Right, so now let's get started with this example here. So like you can see here, it says find the value of x and y if 1 plus I in brackets multiplied by x minus 2i over 3 plus I, then plus 2 minus 3i plus y plus I over 3i equals to I. All right, so like I said the other time, this represents complex number. All right, so either you see it as I or you see it as j. Okay, so they are just representations showing the imaginary parts. Okay, let me use that word. All right, so now let's go ahead and solve this. Now in solving this, we are going to be making use of first of all, let's look for the LCM. Okay, because we have a value here, we have another value here. So let's go ahead and look for the LCM. So in doing that, we are going to be having something that looks like this. Then on this side, we're going to be having 3 plus I. Okay, so that's 3 plus I, and then here we are going to be having 3 minus I. All right, so just the way LCM will go. So if you divide all of this divided by this, you are going to be having this 3 minus 1, and you're going to use it to multiply everything that is right here. Okay, the same thing you're going to do if you divide all of this by 3 minus I, you're going to be left with 3 plus I. You're going to use it to multiply everything that is here. All right, so let's do that. So if you do this correctly, we are going to be having here to be 3 minus I, then all into brackets 1 plus I multiplied by x, then minus 2I, then plus 3 plus I. So let me open a square bracket. That will be 2 minus 3I, then y plus I equals to I. All right, so what we want to do now is to open the bracket and cross multiply, because you can see we have different bracket and square brackets. So let me write it here that open brackets and cross multiply. Okay, so cross multiplying, that means this will come and multiply what we are having here. All right, so if you should do this now, we are going to be having, all right, so let's do it one step at a time. So we're going to be having 3 minus I, and then so if you should open this bracket now, we are going to be having x plus ix minus 2I. So let me close that, then plus 3 plus I, then open square bracket. So if you use this y to multiply everything right here, we are going to be having 2y minus 3yi plus I, then equals to I into bracket. Right, so if you should multiply this now, we are going to be having 9 minus I squared. Okay, so again we can go ahead and open the bracket again. So in doing that, we are going to be using this 3 minus I to multiply everything that is here. We are going to use this to multiply what is here. All right, and then we'll go ahead and open this bracket. So that's what we want to do now. So in doing this, we are going to be having 3x, so 3 multiplied by this 3 multiplied by this, that will be 3x plus 3ix minus 6I. Okay, so that's this 3 multiplied by minus 2I. So let's move to the next one, which is using this minus I to multiply everything inside this square bracket. So that will give us minus ix minus I square x plus 2I square plus 6y minus 9y I plus 3I plus 2iy minus 3yi square, then plus I square equals to 10i. All right, so that this 10i is for this part here. Okay, so let me simplify that for you on the side so that you can understand how I got this 10i. Now this, okay, well, let me write it like this. So what we had there is I into bracket 9 minus I square. All right, so it's the same thing as having I into bracket 9 minus, remember I said I square is the same thing as j square, which is minus 1. So into bracket minus 1, and that will give us I into bracket 9 plus 1, which is I into bracket 10. Okay, so that is how we got that to be 10i or I10. Okay, so that's sort that out. So with this now, we can go ahead and simplify it further, okay, by bringing the similar terms or the like terms together so that we can rearrange this properly. So like this now, we can have this 3x plus 3ix. Then you are going to be having minus 6i minus ix. Now you see here we are having I square, okay, and don't forget I said this I square is going to be minus 1, right? So minus 1 multiplied by this minus here, it becomes plus, and then the x, that will be plus x. Okay, so we are working with the one that have square. Now plus 2i square. Also, if you look at this, I square is also minus 1. This I square right here is minus 1. So if you multiply it by the 2, we are going to be having minus 2. So we continue to plus 6y minus 9y I plus 3i plus 2iy. Then also we are having I square here, so which is equivalent to minus 1. So if you use it to multiply this minus 3y, we are going to be getting plus 3y. And then let's see now for this I square, which is minus 1. Okay, so that's minus 1. And then that's going to give us equals to, do I still have space here? Okay, there's no space there. Let me just write it below. So that's equals to 10i. All right. So if you are finding value in the video, please give the video a thumbs up. So now what I want to do is we want to separate the equation into the real and the part and the imaginary part. All right. So let me do that here. That for the real part. Okay. So the real part are the one that without the I. Okay. So this is real. This is also real. So we are having 3x plus x, another real, this is another real part. This is a real part. And then let's see, this is also real. Okay, so the real part are the one that is not having those I. Okay, so we're having 3x plus x, then minus 2 plus 6y, then look at this another one here, plus 3y, then minus 1 equals to 0. All right, so if you should simplify this now, you can see we are having that will be 4x and then plus 9y minus 3 equals to 0. Okay, equals to 0. So if you have to write this, that will be 4x plus 9y equals to 3. So let's take this to be our equation 1. So let me do it on the other side too, that for the imaginary part, for imaginary part, so for the imaginary parts now are the one that is having this I, so which is, let me circle them, this, you can see all of this like this. Okay, so this time around we don't need to put the I. All right, so you can just write it out without the I. So that's, for this now it's going to be 3x minus 6 minus x, then another one is this minus 9y, then plus 3, so this is it right here, and then you can see right here plus 2y, then equals to 10. All right, so we don't need to include the I. Now if you should simplify this together, we are going to be having, you can see 3x minus x, that will be 2x, and then for the y part we have minus 9y and plus 2y, so that will be minus 7y, then equals to, we have 10 here. If you put this on the other side with this plus 3, we are going to be having 13. So this is our equation 2. All right, so what we are going to do now is we are going to solve equation 1 and 2. So let me say solving equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. Equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. So with that, we are going to be having 4x plus 9y equals to 3, then 2x minus 7y equals to 13. All right, so if you solve this simultaneously, I won't be doing the simultaneous equation. I want to believe if you're watching this video, you shouldn't have problem with simultaneous equation. So you're going to be getting your x to be equals to 3, and then your y is equals to minus 1. Okay, so with that, so this is the answer to this question. We've been able to solve this example that is under complex number. So if you have any question or any doubts with the solution to this problem, okay, just let me know in the comment section. And if you have any question or any doubt, you can just go ahead to watch the video again. If you missed the example 1, I'll encourage you to watch that example 1 also. Okay, so that is it for this video. Complex number still continues in the next part of this video. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Prosper, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.